What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Forward Progress. It's a Thursday night breakdown between the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks presented by Fanduel. I'm Jason Cooper here, joined by Fabian Summer, also known as Suma. We're going to take a look at this game right now. Opened up at around -3 towards the Niners, is now sitting at that -3 plus 3.5, juice towards the Seahawks. Total opened up at 47 at some shops, and now is all the way up to 49.5 across the board. Suma, we get another divisional matchup this Thursday night. Tell us a little bit about a breakdown of this game.
Yes, the Seattle Seahawks got a little bit down to earth, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They are dealing with injuries and they have not looked as good against better competition. And I think it was highly concerning that the New York Football Giants, without Malik Neighbors, were basically moving the ball up and down the field. The big problem for the Seahawks is their linebacker play, which is not good at all. Jerome Baker is really looking confused in coverage on play action. Tyrell Dodson is not good. And the Giants really were able to mess around with them on the ground game and on play action. And then you combine that with defensive line injuries. Geno Smith had his comeback, went out prior before halftime. Byron Murphy is out, will not play. I think he might be pretty useful in the middle of that defensive line because they don't really have a disruptive defensive tackle / nose tackle who can clock the run and win his fair share of one-on-one battles. So that defensive line is banged up. Linebacking corps is not good. And now you play against probably the elite play caller in the game when it comes to messing around with opposing linebackers who are not at that level, and that's Kyle Shanahan. The Niners offense, they are not at their peak of at their high standard in terms of efficiency, success rate, EPA per play. And a lot has to do with them being limited on offense without CMC. John Mason is a good enough runner in this scheme, but you are really not getting the same run looks / play action looks and threat of a receiver in the backfield without Christian McCaffrey. And I think that might also play to their bad inefficiency when it comes to down in the red zone. They are borderline top 10 in terms of efficiency, but they somewhat crater when it comes to the red zone. We saw it last Sunday against the Cardinals. The Niners were extremely good at moving the ball down the field, but they just could not convert into the end zone. That's something that will very likely regress to the mean, even without Christian McCaffrey. I think Kyle Shanahan will eventually figure it out. They were also without Debo for some time, without Kittle for some time. Kittle is full go for Thursday Night Football. They will figure it out, but I also think that this matchup against the Seahawks is very good for the Niners. I think they should have a very decent matchup when it comes to running the ball. I think that they should have more success in terms of play action. The Seahawks are bottom 5 on defense against play action, giving up 0.32 EPA per play on play action this season. And with the current state of injuries, it won't get any better. Tyreek Woolen will also not play. So great matchup for the Niners on offense. I think they will move the ball, they will score points. And I also think that then it's the case, even though the Niners defense is not great, I think that they will be able to put the Seahawks into a game script where they have to throw the ball, where the Niners know what's coming, where their pass rush, especially Nick Bosa, can feast. And I like the Niners in this one. I will say not at the current price. Maybe there's going to be some buyback on the Niners. It has been -3. On the Seahawks. It has been -3 Niners early in the week. Then it got bet out to 3.5. Maybe we see some Seahawks buyback. maybe there are some live opportunities if the Seahawks get the ball first, score a field goal, and you can grab a decent lifeline on San Francisco. But definitely not advocating for the current market price. But overall, I think that this is a very, very good matchup for the 49ers.
Yeah, and you mentioned the injury situations here, and you're kind of covering it. Injuries on both sides for the defenses, like you mentioned, Talanoa, Hufanga, Jair Brown, the other safety for the Niners, limited participant. George Kittle, limited participant. Then flipping over to the other side of the ball, Boye Mafe, full participant, but still questionable. And a couple other guys for the Seahawks, including Byron Murphy, who's been ruled out, and Reek Woolen, who's been ruled out. A lot of ways you could probably take advantage of that in market, but through props. But that stuff is probably already priced in to the line here. And like you mentioned, feels like both these defenses are a little overrated coming into this game. So it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out here from a props perspective. Suma, I'm going to throw to you, but before I do, there's a couple of props that are pretty good in market here. If you like the longest reception market for the Seattle Seahawks receivers, Jackson Smith and Njigba and Tyler Lockett, 17.5 for Njigba over -114. That's best price in market. You can play that at Fanduel. And same thing for Tyler Lockett, over 17.5 on his longest reception, -118. Both of those are the best prices in market. If you're looking to play those, you like those angles, you should probably play them over at Fanduel. Two others if you like and you're going to bet them, you might as well play them at Fanduel because they're the best number in market. Brock Purdy's pass attempts over 30.5 -102. And then DK Metcalf, longest reception under 25.5 -118. That is one of the highest number I'm seeing in market. Market's pretty much painted to 22.5. So you're getting a couple extra yards there for DK Metcalf. If you're looking to play those things, not recommending those, but if that's something that you're interested in, FanDuel has the best price on all of those props as of recording this video. Suma, any prop angles you like for this game?
I somewhat like Jordan Mason, maybe old overs, all rushing yard overs. I think, like I said, I think the Niners will have a decent matchup for their standards on the ground game. So looking at Jordan Mason overs, and when I'm correct with the game script, I also think that Geno Smith might have another day where he has a lot of pass attempts. So over 35.5 pass attempts, also not a bad look.
Yeah, 35.5 -108 on FanDuel. And before we get into our SGP, which I know you guys are all waiting for, football is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the NFL action than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can kick off the season with $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. You can use those bonus bets on spreads, props, live bets. You can take a look at the to catch a pass market, which we've been loving on our live shows lately. Overs, unders, and so much more. We love the product of FanDuel. Of course, their extensive prop menu that we've been taking advantage of all years, their lightning quick payouts, and of course, their great live odds. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to download America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/forward progress. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC. First online real money wager only. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's get right into this SGP angle. All right. This feels kind of square for me, but like, could you put it past me? Because I think I am pretty square. So this game, what I'm looking at is what I feel like to be two overrated defenses, and two, I don't want to call them underrated offenses, but I think they're around underrated to correctly rated. I feel like we haven't made enough of an adjustment on these individuals in market. So what I'm going to do, I think this is going to be a shootout game. And I think that we're going to see a lot of passing. So I'm going to take Geno Smith 275 plus passing yards, and Brock Purdy, 275 plus passing yards. Going to pair it together. And then we're going to look at some of their receivers, right? If we think they're going to get a lot of throw a lot of passes, we're going to look towards the receiver. We're going to take advantage of that Reek Woolen injury. We assume that the backup cornerback is going to be covering Brandon Aiyuk. So we're going to take Brandon Aiyuk over 64.5. And then we're going to flip out to the other side of the ball. And we're going to look to expose Charvarius Ward. And we're going to attack him. We're going to take Tyler Lockett, who he might be. I believe he'll be covering him. So going to attack him. Take Tyler Lockett's overs as well. That gets us at around 10-1 for this SGP. Suma, if you don't like it, you can tell me. If you like it, you probably don't like it. So just tell me you don't like it, and then rip SGP.
I basically like every SGP because those are fun. And I mean, total is 49.5 right now. Both defenses, you mentioned it, are not good, are somewhat slightly below average, maybe a little bit overrated. So yeah, why not?
All right, that's we're hoping for the best here. Suma, you got an SGP for us?
So I will start with San Francisco all spread -9.5, and Jordan Mason either 100 plus or 125 plus rushing yards, and then I want to grab something on top of it. You can shop around and maybe find a Geno Smith pass attempts over, because I think in the event of the Niners dominating that game, Geno Smith will have a lot of pass attempts because at some point they will be chasing the game. What I also think, maybe Geno Smith also has decent yardage through the air. He can have decent yardage despite not scoring too many points. And I also like the Brandon Aiyuk angle. So you can also throw Brandon Aiyuk 70 plus yards into it. So when I look at this right now, the Brandon Aiyuk one gives us roughly 9-1, which I like. If you throw in the Geno Smith passing yards over, it gets significantly better.
Yeah, and if you want to just play that alt spread with your Jordan Mason 100 plus yards, that's a play as well. Shop around, try and find the best price, as we always like to advocate for these bets. Officially, I'm just going to make it Jordan Mason 100 plus and San Francisco 49ers -9.5, just so we can collect that dub and add that to our record. But anyways, that does it for us here today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can catch us back here on this channel for a live watch along of the 49ers and Seahawks game. We'll be live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Pre-game, just to kind of run through, give out some of our best bets, and talk a little bit about some more SGPs. So if you're into that, if you're looking for a last-minute bet, you don't know where to look, head over to this channel. And guess what? If you're a part of that 40% that is subscribed to us, thank you so much. If you're part of the 60% that is not subscribed to us, hit that subscribe button so you can find all of our content with relative ease. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys here in the next one.